Hello again, everybody. It's Scott Casper. Takedown Wrestling. We continue our coverage of the sport of wrestling, coast to coast and border to border. This time we head east to Hempstead, New York, where Dennis Papadatos was named the new head coach of wrestling for the Hofstra Pride. He joins us now. How are you, Dennis?
Doing great. If that's a word, I would definitely describe how I'm doing. Great.
It's a great day. 12th head coach in the history of the program. Jeff Hathaway did his homework. Jeff, if anything, is one of the very best of the athletic directors out there. He knows how to play politics, and he knows what his job is, to install the best guys in each of the programs that he has in his department. And he has hired, I feel, and a lot of others do apparently as well, the best possible candidate for the position. Why do you agree with that? Why do you believe that you are that best guy?
A lot of reasons, because I'll describe in one comment on, and I'm sorry, my kids are here, so if you hear my kids in the background.
It's actually perfect. I love the fact that your family's involved with this.
When Jeff asked me, Dennis, we're going to fly you back in. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. You know, I officially was offered the job on Friday. Today's Monday. He's like, if we fly you in, will you accept the position? And I didn't say one thing. I just got quiet. You know, and I knew what that meant. I knew why they were flying me back in. Or at least I was hopeful that was the reason. And then he's like, you didn't say anything. Well, why not? And I'm like, you know what, Jeff? I'm sure there's a lot of people that would want this job. I'm sure there's a lot of people that would take this job. But I can't imagine life without it. And he's like, I get you. We're getting you a plane ticket. And I think that's the reason, because, you know, other people would want it, but it defines me. It's home. I'm passionate about it. I grew up there. It's my wife's home. My kids want to go home. I got married there. I got my master's there. I got my undergrad there. I bled in the singlets. You know, I've been a part of it. I've been supportive of Tom Ryan, Tom Shiflett, Rob Ansbach. You know, it's home, and I can't imagine any other place I would rather be. I want to be Division I head wrestling coach. It's been a goal of mine, an aspiration of mine. It was something that was going to happen. I mean, it was going to happen, and to do it at your alma mater, a place that you want to do it at. I mean, listen, no offense to anyone else who applied, but no one wanted that job as bad as I did, and a lot of people knew that, and they're like, well, if Dennis can't do it, it's not because of lack of effort or lack of passion about it. So a lot of people were pretty excited about that, and I believe Jeff was as well.
The program has had some incredible success over the years, and coincidentally, I don't know, you played a pretty large role in the success the program has experienced over the years. Not only as a mat man, as a wrestler, but also in the classroom. You're a native Long Islander. You understand the culture of the island. You understand how important the sport is to the island. And then you see the university and its program in a larger sense, local, regional, and national as well. It's very, I think that's very important for Hofstra specifically at this point in time. Hofstra is poised to do some very good things. There's been some health issues in the past couple of years of the teams. It's time to get to work now. You've got a couple more days left at North Carolina. What will be one of the first things you do when you hit the ground running at Hofstra?
I've already started. You know, the first thing is I told Jeff I want to sit down and I got to brainstorm with him on what exactly they expect from me, what exactly they want, so I can structure our plans, our goals around what the administration wants. Because if we don't do it together, then we won't do it, pretty much. So, which I already know what he wants. Probably I feel fairly confident, but I want to make sure and run my ideas by him and, you know, and the other people on the administration. So goal number one is reaching out to the entire team. I've already called everybody. Have about at least 75% of the whole team has heard my voice. I've heard theirs. I've pretty much spoken with at least 95% of the influential, for lack of a better word, donors, supporters who are fired up, and you know we've had some great conversations. You know that's part number one. Part number two is as much as I know about the program, even though I'm on the outside, I'm probably the most inside person that came from the outside that can possibly be. I don't want to say fix the culture because I don't know what the culture is, but I want to set my culture. So the first thing is, yeah, I got to lay down my expectations, for everybody to understand, and my motto, and my motto is, I've told everyone, as I tell everyone on the phone, is blind faith. We're going on blind faith this year. I believe some people believed in me blindly, and I believe in the university. I believe in Jeff. I believe in the whole administration. I believe in Long Island. I believe in Hofstra. I believe in myself. I believe in the guys on the team blindly, and I expect the same back. And we're going to grow from it. So I'm working hard to build that trust. Right now everyone's excited, but that doesn't mean they trust me. They're excited and they believe, but I want trust. We can't do this without trust, and I'm going to get it, or I'm going to get it. That's the plan.
Jeff Hathaway, I know, and quite well. Stu Rabinowitz, the president of the university, I know, and quite well. And you have their faith, which is generally something that is earned after the fact. But coming back home, I think it's well earned and well placed. What are your expectations of not just the university, but of the Hofstra faithful, as you call them, the larger donors, the guys who want their voices to be heard? What are your expectations of the administration and of those that are supporting you?
Just to believe. And when I tell people to believe, I don't believe in me. I'm a Tom Ryan prodigy. I don't know if prodigy is the right word. Disciple. I don't know what the right word is, but I believed in Tom. And now that I'm older and I get it, I don't know if I believe in Tom as much as I believed in what he believed in, if that makes sense, his essence. And I don't want people to believe in me. I want people to believe in my support system. I want people to believe in my coming up through it. I want people to believe in that, hey, Dennis is a hard worker. Everyone says that. That's a fact. But I'm a hard worker in my support system because I'm not afraid to be like, hey, man, what is going on? Tom, help me out here. Pat Papalizio, help me out here. Jim North, the former AD of Binghamton, who I loved, help me out here. You know what I mean? Jeff Hathaway, help me out here. Let's get this done. Noel Thompson, hey, man, what do you think? What do you think? We were teammates. We did this together. You're being successful outside of wrestling. Tell me what's going on. Billy Baldwin, like we talked before. I am not afraid to ask because at the end of the day, I just want to win. I want to succeed. And I don't just mean win on the wrestling mat. I want my kids to win. I want my kids to win in life. And, I want to win. So, I want people to believe in the people that I come from. And if you believe in that, man, it's success principles. It's don't believe in me, believe in what I believe in, the success principles, because they've been proven to work on many different levels, outside of wrestling, inside of wrestling, and that's where I draw my strength from. And like I said, just believe in that I either have the answer, I'm going to go hard to go get it, or I'm going to find a way to find out the answer. And that's how it's going to go.
The great coaches in this country will tell you that none of them have the answers. None of them have all the answers. If they did, they surely would be probably on Wall Street or doing something fantastic with their lives. But the process, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the process as I see it is in being a head coach is finding out what the strengths of an individual are, helping them get better with those strengths. John Smith, if you recall, when he took over the Cowboy program, was starting to force his style and technique on athletes. And that's not why he hired those kids. That's not why he offered scholarships to those kids. He saw something in them that he liked in their current style, their current way they were wrestling. And he then backed up and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to coach you to your strengths. Obviously, that's something you've been doing, whether it was at Binghamton, whether it was at Chapel Hill. Your various coaching stops along the way. You've learned a lot from a lot of people, and you've been open to their ideas and their teachings, and I think that's perhaps the mark of a great head coach in training. Do you feel like the last 4 or 5 years you've been a great head coach in training? Is that who you've been?
I hope so. Hope to find out. As I, told other people, I felt ready for a few years. But a lot of times it don't matter if you're ready. It matters on the appropriate time. I would have liked to have been thrown in the fire earlier, but it is what it is. And to be honest, I'm going home. I'm getting thrown in the fire at home. So, man, I got a lot of firepower because It's more about just proving that I plan on being a good head coach. I got an invested interest because it's home, and when people come to your house, you fight your life off to defend it. So it's home. But yeah, wish I was thrown in the fire earlier, but at the same time, I'm glad I wasn't. I really learned some things. I learned a heck of a lot in the last 6 weeks in this whole process of trying to become the next Hofstra coach. I've probably grown a bunch. My final training, you know what I mean? I finally got it done, and by no means am I ready, but I'm as ready as you can possibly be. As I told all the guys I talked to, yeah, I'm ready to be a head coach, but at the end of the day, you can drill every day and you can go live and practice. It's still not the same experience as putting the singlet on and going to battle. So as ready as I am, there's still a learning curve. And, I'm ready to throw in the experience on top of my training. I'm ready for it. But, yeah, I do feel that way. I do feel that I've kept my eyes open. I've kept my ears open. And I listen and hopefully I learn and hopefully I can implement. We'll find that out soon enough.
You have 3 beautiful kids with some incredibly melodious names. Gabriella, who's 6. Apostoli, am I saying it correctly? Apostoli. And Yanni?
Apostoli, like apostle, apostoli.
Apostoli. So he's 4, and Yanni 2, right? So
Yanni's 2.
So 3 beautiful kids, and then you have the boss.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Now,
Angela.
How important was Angela to this discussion as it started, and to the decision that was ultimately made?
When the whole thing started, when I got the call that, hey, Ansbach's gonna my 4-year-old Apostoli. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
When I got a call that, hey, Ansbach's gonna resign in about a week or so, and I'm like, what? Are you? Whoa. I told my wife, I said, hey, I'm not telling anyone. I was told not to tell anybody, but I think Ansbach's going to resign. I think he's going to go on to something else. And that means Hofstra's going to be open. And my wife goes, if you don't go after the Hofstra job, and then if they offer it to you and you don't accept it, I will divorce you.
Wow.
And I said, whoa, okay. That's where my wife's at. So this is home. I couldn't even talk to her Friday. I talked to her. She just cried. So I'm like, I'm done talking to you. I got so many things I got to do right now. I'm excited. I'm happy. And it is the best thing that's ever happened to her, besides meeting me, of course. Best thing that's ever happened to her.
It's
for sure.
I don't know that I want her to watch this interview now, but we're giving her an awful lot of power here. Maybe they're going to take it anyway. They do,
Right.
And rightfully so. They're the ones that give us the greatest gifts of all. Tom Ryan, Noel Thompson, Nick Gallo, myself, Pat Popolizio, Jim Norris, Mike Moyer, Pat Tachi. They've all said some nice things, and I'm going to quote some of them. Tom Ryan, we'll start with him. Speaks to you as the perfect hire as the head coach. He talks about his time at Hofstra as where he was nurtured and grew as a coach. Tremendous pride in what he left behind and the program that he helped to build at that time. Obviously, that was a lot of that had to do with you. He said that your past speaks volumes about the passion and energy that you'll bring to the program. And I'm going to ask you a couple questions about this, because it's either deserving and you're embarrassed, or you're just flat out embarrassed. When somebody like Tom Ryan or Noel Thompson says these things, how does it make you feel?
I mean, it's comforting, I've told people before, I never ever woke up at 6 a.m, 7 days a week, and ran 5 miles because I wanted to win a national title for Tom Ryan. I did it for myself, but I would have never got to that point if it wasn't for him. He believed in me before I believed in myself. So he's a special human being in my life. Well, I counsel with Tom about everything I do. I almost don't kiss my wife without asking Tom sometimes. He usually tells me to go kiss her. But he's just, I just value his opinion. I value his insight. He's been there for me through, thick and thin, and I've been there for him through thick and thin, as a lot of people know his story. And same with Noel. I know Noel a long time. I know Noel since he was in 10th grade, and I was a senior, and in high school, and then we ended up being teammates together. And he was my partner, man. He was my workout partner. That's who I worked out with. We genuinely cared how the other one did. We genuinely cared if the other one was going to win. We genuinely cared about everything. We competed with each other, but it was never a competition, if that makes sense. I mean, we were always able to punch each other in the face in practice and then hug right after the shower. You know what I mean? Without even ever mentioning like, hey man, why'd that get so physical? You know what I mean? It was just like forgotten, and let's go get something to eat. Let's go, do whatever we were going to do. And we bled together, we sweat together, and I know where he came from, and he knows where I came from. So we're appreciative of each other, and those two were part of my molding. Like I said, I know Noel and Tom the same amount of time. We're all Long Island guys, and we love each other accordingly. And it's definitely it's special when people that have had such an impact in your life, and you find out that you had an impact on theirs. It's the most rewarding thing you can possibly hear, for sure.
One of the qualities that Noel described that you possess is that you've always been a great student of the sport. You're very proficient technically, and you continue to focus on technique, and that's what's made you a great coach along the way. I'm not exactly sure when you become a student of the sport or when it clicks, but for you it apparently clicked earlier than for most.
I'm going to steal a line from somebody else that's not even mentioned. Carl Fraunhofer, he's he's the head coach of Columbia. He actually said something to me one time. Yeah, I don't remember if he was the head coach of Columbia at the time or another time. The one day we were at Nationals, we were both coaching somewhere. It was years ago. And it really holds true. He's like, hey, man, you want to work out in between sessions? I'm like, are we training for the national title here? Yeah. He's like, hey, man. He's like, people play pickup basketball. I play pickup wrestling. I genuinely like wrestling. And it clicked to me. I'm like, he's right. Like, how many times that I've been done? I'm like, hey, let's go get a drill in. Like, a lot of times I ask guys on our team to drill because I feel like drilling. You know what I mean? I just feel like drilling because I like it. I genuinely like the sport. So when you like something, you try to be good at it. You try to learn the little things. I'm always watching people. And I was a student of the sport because I wanted to win at it, but also because I genuinely enjoy it. I like it. Like, to me, I don't get why people don't get it. It's not as physical as people like to think. They think it's just two guys beating each other up, but there's a lot to it. And I learned it a lot along the way. So I think it was the ability to love the sport helped me be a student of the sport, if that helps. And I definitely had that very early.
Confidence. There's a lot of people that are very confident in you, including Pat Papalizio. You work very closely with him in helping to bring out of the mothballs the Binghamton Bearcat program, and I thought it was almost a rush to greatness there, and that comes with attitude. And Pat describes you as having somebody with exciting attitude, and brings a great personality to the collegiate ranks at the level of head coach. Exciting attitude. I've known you a long time, and your attitude has always been up. You've always been excited to go to work with these athletes, to help them get better. Is that something you learned, or is that just a product of how you were brought up?
Not sure. I probably a product of how I brought up. Probably a combination of my two parents. My mother is a worrywart, but she's the most caring person on planet Earth. She's probably should be a saint. If she was around 300 years ago, she'd be sainted for sure. And my father, I know everyone says it about people, but my father is the hardest worker on planet Earth. Bar none, hands down, unbelievable. But he wasn't as personable. My dad doesn't like people pretty much. He likes his kids, and sometimes he didn't even do the best chance of even showing that. But I saw how hard my dad worked to make sure we had everything we needed, and just worked like a dog. And so I kind of took that, and then I kind of took my wife's. Oh my goodness, that was a Freudian slip. My mother's love of people and love of life, and I guess I just kind of combined the two. And like I said, I genuinely love the sport. I've left it a few times only because I wanted to do what was best for my family financially. But my wife was always like, "You got to go back to wrestling because I don't like you when you're not a wrestling coach because it's the only time you're happy. It's not work to me. I don't mind when the Flow national rankings come out at 9:30 at night and sitting there and reading them. I don't mind I don't mind that. I don't mind when someone calls me and wants to talk wrestling. It's not work. I don't mind going to practice at 7 in the morning. It's not a hassle to me. It is, wow, I get to go to wrestling practice at 7 a.m. This is unbelievable. Let's go watch some people scrap. And maybe I might scrap with them. You know what I mean? So it's not work. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to do it at home. I'm blessed to do it on my alma mater. And I'm blessed to do, I don't work. And they're paying me to not work. And it's unbelievable. But at the same time, I'm going to work, if you know what I mean.
You know what? Nick Gallo, largely regarded as one of the most successful wrestlers in hospice history.
Well, he's the most.
Yeah, and a wonderful guy. A lot of folks may know him just through ASICS, but his wrestling background, his ability to shoot an outside jump shot at his age is almost second to none. It's perfect. It's beautiful to watch. But you have his support. Jim Norris, a retired AD at Binghamton University. Coincidentally, Lois DeFleur, there's not a comment here from Lois DeFleur, but Jim Norris did offer up his congratulations and talks about your work ethic, your inexhaustible energy level, the positivity you bring to the program, and the fact that you're willing to build a wrestling program that everybody will be proud of. Again, this is a former boss, and these guys, they don't throw around accolades very easy, but Jim did, and that's going to be one that you're very proud of.
I love Jim. He's one of my mentors. He's one of the guys that he's retired for 2 years or 3. I think he's going on 3. I still call him now about everything. Every search I was a part of, even before, checking on life, I used to sat in his office a bunch, and we talked about a lot of things, and he's helped me mature and grow, and I'm so appreciative of everything he says because he meant a lot. In fact, he's retired, so when they asked me who I want on my press release, they said, well, we got to get someone from Binghamton besides Pat. I said, you got to get Jim Norris. He's retired for 2 years, but that's no offense to anyone else. I want Jim on there because he has a ton to do with the where I'm at, and he needs to. I want to make sure you please reach out to Jim Norris that he knows I want him to be a part of this because he is a part of it. So, yeah, it means a lot because he's a successful individual himself, and I'm glad that he's on the golf course these days trying to get his golf course his score down. That's all he does now. So I'm happy for him.
I got to believe over the last couple of weeks you were also determined to start thinking about what your coaching staff will look like. Have you made any decisions yet for assistants? I know Zach Tonelli's in place, Dan Valamont is in place. Heck, you even have a nice secretary in Harriet. But
Harriet's
she's awesome. But do those guys stay in place? Have any decisions been made? Have you thought beyond today in that regard?
Yeah, of course I thought about it. No decisions have been made. Right now, I'm probably leaning towards Dan Gable, John Smith, and Cale Sanderson are probably going to come on somewhere. Right. I'm trying to figure how I'm going to make those 3 work. Obviously, I'm joking.
I think it'd be a hell of a cast. I got to tell you.
It'd be a hell of a camp system too. I can tell you this. I've spoken to Dan Valamont, and I've spoken to Tonelli. I'm trying to give Tonelli some time to decompress. He's been part of the program as well. And I've spoken to Jeff, and I've reached out to some people, and I'm brainstorming because I want to do the right thing. And the one thing I'm telling everybody, and I told the team and I told the donors, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Please don't ask me what I'm going to do because I want to make sure it's the right decision, and I got to counsel with truth is I got to counsel with Tom Ryan, I got to counsel with Pat Papadatos, I got to counsel with Jeff Hathaway, some people to see what they think, and Rob Onspach, who's obviously he was their assistant, and if I choose to keep them, I want it to be because I would hire them, not that I settled for them or, So if they're on staff next year, it's because that's who I wanted on staff. Simple as that, and we've had some great talks already. And so no decisions have been made. A lot of people that, like I said, I speak to and I talk to, everyone gives me the same advice, but I'm going to give the credit to one of my favorite people on planet Earth, Teague Moore. Teague's always hire slowly, fire quickly. And So I want to hire slowly, more for that reason, just to really think about it for a while, and I got to do what's right for me, which is going to be right for Hofstra Wrestling and the university. So I just got to make sure it's the right thing to do. So I've thought about it. I'm nowhere near a decision, if that helps.
Well, no, I think, and I suppose that's what you would expect to hear from a coach right now, because there's a lot of things on the plate, but setting that plate for the success and for the future long term. These are guys you got to live with, travel with, work with. They don't always have to agree with you. It's your program, but obviously their input is huge. Their ability to work with the team that you all will assemble is integral to you winning the conference, to you winning championships for these guys, All-American status, and then academics comes into play in a big way, especially at Hofstra. It's such an important component, and I know you have, as I said, the support of the athletic department. Perhaps you more than anyone is going to get this support and going to be given the time. But conversely, I think their expectations are going to be exceedingly high as well. So I'm excited for you to take the opportunity. I know you are as well. You actually make the move back to Hofstra. What day?
Today's Monday. Next Monday, I officially work there. I'm probably going to go this weekend. And then my wife's doing all the moving. I don't even know. I'm letting her handle all that because I got so many things going on. She plans on being there the next Thursday. So I'm going to come back, and then come back with them. It's a little easier for me because I can put my stuff in storage. We're going to move into my parents' house with my wife and kids. My parents are retired. They live in Greece for half the year. So the house is kind of empty, and we want to take our time, find the right house to buy, where we want to live, stockpile some cash, go back and live with mommy and daddy, you know what I mean, with no expenses except some food, It's
and
always
what? Here's the secret: eat everything they left behind in canned food items for the first week or two. Get creative on your meals; you'll save even more money.
I know. I do it all. I joke around. I tell people I'm 36 years old, and like I said, I've been fairly successful in my personal life and business, and I don't kind of financially. And when I go home and if my mother needs something, she gives me $20 to go get. I still don't give her change.
No,
you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I can't do it. It's like, nah, there's $12 left. This is mine. It's just what you do. I still can't do it.
My parents have lost the ability to. They don't do math well now at their age, in their 80s. So I'm hoping I can turn that into something that will end up helping them long term. All right. For the record, say your full name, please, in as you were given it. By your family, the Greek heritage, your full name in Greek, please.
Dionysios Papadatos.
Dionysios Papadatos. Dionysios.
Yes.
Papadatos. And do your friends ever call you DP? Just to
yes. Carrie Cola calls me DP because he's Carrie Cola.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Yeah, he's but not really. Most people call me Dennis. To be honest, I wish it never stuck. Generations have changed. When my family came here from America, I'm first generation, born in America, but I didn't speak English till I was like 4. We spoke Greek in my house, and we still speak Greek in my house. My parents do. Back then, I guess everyone wanted to assimilate to America so much that every name, all Dionysius were Dennis, and so I was Dennis. My cousin Dionysius was Dennis, and all Costas were Gus, and it just happened. Now I wish it never stuck. I wish people just called me Dionysios, because my son is not switching from Apostoli. They call him Apostoli in school, and that's gonna be his name. They can call him Stoli. My little one Ioannis, they call him Yanni. He's not Yanni's usually John, but he's not going to be John. He's baptized Yanni. He's born Yanni. His name on the paper is Yanni, and he's going to be Yanni. And if you can't call him Yanni, then I don't know what you're going to call him, because that's his name. You know what I mean? That's his name.
The Greek has got his back up on the name. I like it. That's good.
I love
it. Dennis, congratulations, sir, on your appointment, because it truly is an appointment toward greatness. I believe that with all my heart, and I know I'm joining others and wishing you the best. Let us know what we can do to help you. I appreciate the fact that you've given us this first interview, and to be a member of the journalism community, but at the same time to be a fan. You make it easy to do both, and I appreciate that more than you'll ever know.
Well, I appreciate you guys as well. I appreciate the time. I appreciate everything you've done for the sport. Obviously watching on TV, I know you're connected with UFC, and I mean, it's an easy thing to do for you. You're being such an advocate of our sport, the sport that pays my bills, that pays my mortgage, that feeds my kids. You know what I'm saying? So with guys like you, our sport, may go away, and we need to combine forces and keep it growing. So we're so appreciative. I know I am of everything you do for the sport of wrestling, especially the sport of college wrestling, which is my favorite part of wrestling.
Yeah, you and me both, brother. God bless you. Best to the wife and kids. We'll talk to you next week. And good job out of Jeff Hathaway and Stewart as well in making one incredible hire. The new head coach of the Pride of Hofstra.
Go Pride.
Dennis Papadatos. Good job, Dennis. Thank you for the time today.
No problem.